the first story here is to be aware that you still have today to prepare. We are going to start to get some rain in the area, but the real action doesn't start to kick in until Wednesday. Look for tropical storm force winds to start making their way along the coast and moving inland by the mid-morning hours. Landfall looks to be during the afternoon or early evening, but probably mid-afternoon on Wednesday. So tropical storm force winds begin tomorrow morning. You need to have everything completed by that time. Could be looking at storm surge anywhere of 6 to even 10 feet over portions of Vermilion and Atchafalaya Bay, depending on the track of the storm. Now, if you've been watching the storm tracks over the last 24 hours, they've been ever so slightly easing a bit to the east. So now the Baton Rouge metro area is under the gun in terms of a tropical threat. But I'm not convinced that that eastward shift is over just yet. The storm has already begun its movement to the northeast, and so that's a little earlier than we thought it would, and that at least in part explains some of the eastward shift of the track. We need to keep our eyes on this one. It won't be Laura, it won't be Ida, but it is still going to be an extensive impact in terms of the role of that storm as it rolls into south central and southeastern Louisiana. The good news here is it comes in at about 15 miles per hour, should push through relatively quickly. We're looking at rain totals of anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain widespread across South Louisiana. That's going to push a number of rivers up to and even above flood stage, so that's going to be a problem. And also because of that forward speed, while the storm will get out relatively quickly, it's also going to drive those tropical storm and hurricane force winds up to and north of the I-1012 corridor. All of south central and southeastern Louisiana under the gun with this storm. Again, keeping an eye on whether we see another slight shift in the track over the next 6 to 12 hours.
Well done, Jay. Now we're going to get a quick update from the Attorney General. Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's prepared or getting prepared for the storm today. You know, while we usually see the best in people during a storm, sometimes we also see the worst in people. And so I want to talk to you for a minute about price gouging. Price gouging occurs when someone or a business charges prices that are extraordinarily disproportionate to the ordinary prices that would be charged right before the storm or during the storm. We will have some information, some detailed information. We're going to put it out on the Get a Game Plan app. We'll also have that information available at our website at www.aglizmerle.com. If you suspect that someone is price gouging or has already been a victim while preparing for the storm, there's a few things that you can do. One, you can contact your local law enforcement. It can be a crime, so the first place you can go is to local law enforcement. You can also file a complaint at our website. The details matter, so when you do that, I would urge you to use as much detail as you can when you file that complaint. You can call the consumer hotline, which is, that number is 1-800-351-4889. So I just want to remind everybody that price gouging is illegal, and we are monitoring that. We will enforce the law, and we will make sure that no one is taken advantage of during the storm. It's not only wrong, it is illegal, and we will enforce the law. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to get Doc Abraham to give us a quick update with LDH. Doc?
Overall, the medical and water structures are intact. In cooperation with LNHA, LDH has almost constant communications with our nursing homes, more dedicated resources right now to regions 3 and 4. If the storm should shift, we will move appropriately and accordingly and follow that as far as what regions become more involved. Right now, most nursing homes plan to shelter in place. As of this minute, only one has had a partial evacuation in a Vermilion Parish, moved 8 patients to Mansfield up in DeSoto Parish, and that went very seamlessly. There are no reported issues from any hospitals right now. Region 6, the mega center, stands ready. It's not open, but if they need shelter and if it needs to open, then the governor has that discretion. As far as our Medicaid patients. Guidance has gone out to the pharmacies to fill prescriptions early. That does not include controlled substances, but other substances, other prescriptions, and that no prior authorizations are going to be required during this event. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to get a dual update between the Louisiana Public Service Commission and the DEQ on the utility infrastructure. Ladies.
Good morning. The Commission is mobilizing and in communications with our electric utilities. They are currently all activating their emergency response plans. We have about 7,500 additional crewmen, including linemen and vegetation management personnel, ready and waiting to assess the storm damage and then respond as soon as they are safely able to do so. Power outages can be found on our website, which is www.lpsc.louisiana.gov.
Can you say your name?
Sure. Catherine Bowman. I'm the Executive Counsel for the Public Service Commission.
Good morning, everyone. Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality stands ready. Yesterday, we notified all of the licensed and permit facilities to make sure that they had their assets protected and secured. We will and have been coordinating with the parishes and the municipalities to ensure that the emergency debris sites are ready. For the nuclear power plants, which are Riverbend and Waterford, we are in contact with them to make sure that they are ready for the storm. And then also for the public's awareness, we have our single point of contact. That is if there are spills. We also have our debris hotline. So if there's any of those questions, that information will be available on our site, and we will keep that information updated. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to the governor. Let me shift everybody down a little bit if y'all don't mind. Shift everybody this way. Joe, if you can. And I'm going to turn it over to the governor because it's important that you can see the app right there. Down a little bit.
Yeah, good morning. As you can see, the cabinet's been busy. We had a great UCG meeting. Everybody seems to be working in unison. I feel very confident that all of the agencies have activated their emergency response plans and pre-positioning the assets needed for this storm. I want to thank Jay again for the continual forecasting that he's giving us. I think that adding that dynamic and element to GOHSEP has been extremely useful. At yesterday's press conference, at some of the questions that I got from the media, I wanted to take an opportunity to again inform the citizens of Louisiana about the resources that we have put that are basically you can place in your hands, and that is the Get a Game Plan app. Now, you can go to your app store on your mobile device, and if you search Get a Game Plan Louisiana, it will populate first, and you should download that app. When you download that app, it will ask you if you want the app to be able to track you. You may want to do that so that the app can then push out information in your area, because the next notification that you get when you download the app is whether or not you want push notifications sent to you. This app will continuously keep you informed, okay, about information in real time that is happening right here in GOHSEP. So this app, it first serves as a preparation app. Inside the app, you can find a hurricane preparation list, a family plan, a business plan. It has information where you can, let's just say you're a single mother with 3 kids and a cat. You can put that information inside the app, and the app will tell you the things that you should populate in your hurricane prepare list, right? And then we know what you have in your household as far as pets and children and personnel. So it's a preparation app. Then secondly, during the storm, it can serve as an information app. It gives up-to-date content that's managed right here by GOHSEP. You can literally get information as quickly as I can through that particular app. It also, and then if you end up in an area under which you lose communication, keeping the app on your phone has location-based push notifications, and the data inside for very important information will be housed inside the app. So even if you lose communication, there's vital information that will stay in the app that you can access. And then finally, it serves as a post-storm information center. And so again, after the storm, information that you're looking for will be available on that app. So I'll give you an example. Resources, disaster recovery assistance, DOT information such as road closures, evacuation plans, weather information, as I said earlier, an emergency preparedness guide, are all things that you can find on this particular app, in addition to the public service announcements that we will push to you while utilizing this app. So again, I highly encourage the citizens of the state to take a look at this app. If you do not have a mobile phone, you can access this on a desktop as well. Again, as you can see by the information that was reported today, we are continually preparing for this storm. We will keep our citizens informed. Again, I'm confident that all of our agencies and our federal partners seem to be working very seamlessly. We are pre-positioning assets so that they will be available to the public on a needed basis. With that, I am happy to take any questions.
Yes, sir. With the wobbling of the storm, is that causing any challenges with the pre-positioning of any resources?
No, I don't. I don't. I mean, look, and Jay can further confirm this. Storms wobble. It's what they do. It's a normal track of wobbling that happens as hurricanes approach the coast. And so I'm very confident that the pre-positioning asset map that we have is going to be adequate for the storm that we're getting ready to face.
And has the National Guard been deployed and where?
Absolutely. Look, I'll tell you what. We'll have General Freelou give you an update on some of the commodities and personnel that he has. Look, I have it right here, too. General?
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. So, yes, the National Guard is mobilizing right now. We are deploying across the coastal parishes and throughout Louisiana. Again, just like the governor said, we have contingencies no matter where the storm wobbles. We place our forces where they can react, go north, go south, east, or west, and react to where we need those service members. Right now, we have we're focusing on high water vehicles and boats. We have 87 boats, 387 high water vehicles, and over 50 helicopters to work what we think is the most probable mission post-storm, which would be search and rescue. So those assets are out there right now. We're also pre-positioning commodities, those meals, water, and tarps, and those are staged as well. Right now, we have 1 million plus meals, 1.1 million liters of water, and over 55,000 tarps. Thank you.
And we hope we don't have to use all of them, right? Okay, any other questions? Yep, Julie?
Okay, the app. I understand you guys are modernizing. I think all the information on the app is great. I can't help but think about my family. My mother barely uses her phone for anything that's not a phone call. My father has glaucoma. He can't see anything on his phone. I think that there are a lot of people in this state who can't read very well. We've had many discussions about that in the legislature, or who can't read at all. So what are we doing for people who can't, and post-storm, I mean, I remember Ida sitting in this room, no one had cell phone service. There was someone that was sitting with us that, Governor, you and I both know really well, couldn't get in contact with her family for 16 hours because no one had cell phone service. So what are we doing if a lot of people, for people who don't have cell phone service potentially after a storm, and people who just like can't use this very easily?
Well, there's a couple of things I would say, Julie. Again, we're doing the same things we did before all this technology became available, right? All right, so that nothing that we've been doing in the past has changed just because we have this technology. This technology adds an additional layer. However, we do know that the vast majority of people in this state use social media, use their phones, access the internet, and guess what? They should take an opportunity to help those who can't as well so that we get that information. In addition, we have consistently, since hurricane season has began, informed our citizens in the state of what to do in order to prepare. The list and information that are out there can be used, can be printed out, and can be handed to those that may not have an opportunity to be able to access a mobile device or the internet. So again, we have tried to push this out to our community-based partners, to NGOs, to our nonprofits. That's the job that they can do to help us and to help those citizens who are in that type of position. Again, on the communication side, I spoke to AT&T earlier this morning. I know we instructed the PSC to reach out to the other network partners to ensure that they are pre-positioning assets. So we try to address some of the communication disruptions of the past. And so as we get those, we will inform you in press conferences just like this as well. Again, we are welcome to take any type of comments or constructive criticism that we can to try to reach as many people as we can. However, I will tell you that as I travel the state, the vast majority of people are walking around with a phone just like you in your hand. In addition to that, as I said earlier, I think this is important. Even if you lose communication, the app is designed to keep vital information on there that you can access. We're not going to have it all, but again, it's better than nothing. So thank you for your question.
Governor,
yeah, Pike.
It's my understanding that in the past there have been some state-run shelters, especially for medically vulnerable people. Can you tell us what has been opened for this storm or what you are prepared to open for this storm?
John.
Sure, it's a combination. Our sheltering process is a combination. It's run by DCFS as well as LDH. When you're talking special needs, there's this joint mission between the two of them. All of it starts at the local level, and it goes back to the understanding of the app itself. All emergency management starts at that local level, then goes to the parish level, where the parishes have their shelters responsible in there. And then there's a state plan where we absorb, once a parish does not have a capability or they're exceeded their capability, we have a state mega shelter that we have in Alexandria, and we have a state shelter plan. Right now, DCFS currently is prepared for 500 people as a backflow if the parishes run out. We have not received any requests from the parishes for assistance from the state. Most of the parishes do it so often, and they're so good at it, they do sheltering on their own through the community centers and the churches and the schools is the first stage. But we're always there, and we never leave anyone behind. It's particularly the ones with special needs and medical.
Does that mean the medically vulnerable shelter is open, and where is it open?
Okay, it all depends on by the parish, and all of this is on our app. It's all listed on there as an element of DCFS is linked into that, as well as LDH. The doc's probably better to talk about the medical needs shelter than myself.
We've got 3 already that are open, Julie, in Vermilion. We've got a couple more opened here in Assumption and Lafourche, Terrebonne. They're going to open 1 shelter. St. John's going to open 2. Region 4, you can have 2 opened. Region 5 have not opened a shelter, and Region 2 have not opened a shelter. New Orleans in the Region 1 area, 2 shelters are opening. So these things are works in progress. As this storm moves closer, people are getting things in place, and the citizens can access it certainly on our website as to where these shelters are and when they're going to be functional.
Is that shelter in Alexandria ready to go?
It's ready.
Okay.
Yes,
It's ready.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
In terms of medically vulnerable shelters, are those all going to be locally run, or is the state mega shelter going to be prepared to take some of those people?
Go ahead, Doc. We got it. No?
They generally will do what they can do at the beginning, and most of the time they can handle it themselves. But if they certainly need us or GOHSEP, we're a phone call away. And
They being the local shelters?
that's right, absolutely.
Governor, I know this situation is not the same as Ida, but there was a lot of hard-learned lessons in emergency response and for evacuations and everything. What is something that you observed after Ida, or a lesson that you learned that you want folks to keep in mind as we wait for this storm to come?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. I think that every storm that we get gives us a greater opportunity to see where there are deficiencies inside the system. I would tell you that I think that if there is an area that we've worked on with, and to my satisfaction, is keeping people abreast of utilities, right, of the number of linemen and crews that we're bringing in. There's a virtual map now that people can go to so that they can understand how power is getting to them or how close that power is. The communication side, we're going to work very closely with our communications partners to make sure that we keep the lines of communications open. I think that we've learned that we have to be able to respond to making sure that people have lines of communication. So if AT&T is down, how does Verizon lay over that, or vice versa, or any of the other networks as well? I think that the closer and tighter you basically tether the local, state, and federal partners together, and then as the cabinet works in conjunction with each other, we keep our communication lines open. I think that those are things that help us. To me, the biggest where we end up failing in all of these storms is in communication, which is why we're doing it, which is why y'all are so important as well, being able to help us push that information out. And if you have questions or you see things on social media that we're not answering, if you let our comms team know, we will try to respond to those as well.
One more question.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the fastest way for people to learn about evacuation orders?
Get a gameplan.org. I mean, I think that, look, we will, GOHSEP is putting information out as it happens, as we get them, as those evacuation orders happen, we put them out to y'all in the press. We immediately, as we are sending them to y'all, it gets posted on the app as well. Again, think about this. The app will tell you about those evacuation notices immediately because we push it out.
And when can we expect the next press conference?
That's what I was going to address. We do not want to put anyone at risk. Okay, so we will have a press conference tomorrow. However, we will most likely let the storm activity subside, and we don't want to put anyone at risk trying to get here. In all likelihood, it'll be sometime in the PM. You will see an invite, and we'll let you know when it's going to be.
So we're not having another one today?
There will probably not be another press conference today, correct. We want everybody to go home and be safe and prepare for the storm effects that will begin tomorrow. So the next press conference, again, will be tomorrow. Again, everyone out there, please be safe, stay Louisiana strong, and all the Louisiana agencies always have you back, always.
And again, I'd like to, just a notice to all our Louisiana citizens, you basically have about, certainly in South Louisiana, about a 24-hour window right now to continue to button down all the hatches, make sure that you've got flashlights, batteries. You go through your checklist because after that 24-hour period, we will start to see the tropical force winds. As Jay mentioned, we can continue to pray that this storm passes over the state, very rapidly. That will help us as well. Any information that we can push out to the press, please contact our comm shop, and we will get you that information as soon as we can. Again, we want everybody to be safe. We remind people that when this storm makes its way on shore, we would ask that you stay in your homes, right? Once you have decided where you are going to be at the time that the storm comes on shore, you want to stay there. And then after the storm has passed, we ask that you stay there as well. Again, anytime you get out onto the roadway, you then put further pressure on our first responders who are out there trying to clear roads, our utility folks who are trying to get down lines out the way, trying to get our power back up. Again, we'll try to put as much information out there. But again, if you go to gameplan.org, I think that you will find all of the information necessary. Thank you.